There are still men who are not inculcated by the feminist ideology that they're useless, that they're worthless, that they're harmful just for existing. I think that men who were raised by mothers who valued them, and who had a good male role model for sure are ahead of the game. Some men may have been like, I'm a good person. I don't believe all this stuff. And, but there are a lot of people who are very vulnerable to the messaging. I mean, I'm vulnerable to messaging too. A lot of people on YouTube go around making statements as if they're facts, and then people believe it. These ideologies, you know, whether they're men going their own way who actually don't seem like they're thriving, they just seem angry. Like, is that working for you? What's the real problem here? Whether it's the feminists, they don't look happy. They're pretty angry. And then, people with these talking points about chats and hypergamy and younger women, those are just theories. What I want to say about that is evolutionary psychologists and biologists and dating experts, even sites like Match.com and eHarmony, no one has been able to crack attraction. No one has been able to explain what makes people attract. We have theories. We have theories about pheromones and, our values and our culture and our preferences, but there is no absolute fact of, these 10 guys out of 90 guys are attractive and all women want them and no one wants anyone else. That is not true. But that's what they're selling you in the manosphere. That you're only worthwhile if you, have certain features. That's not even true. That's what they try to tell you. Women are only worthwhile if they're young, if they're 25. As a woman who works with men, as a, let's say, a personal model bookkeeper, I'm 60. I have very attractive, successful men of all ages choosing me over the thousands of 20 or 30 somethings they could choose instead. Do they all want me? No, but I don't need them all to want me. There isn't any woman alive who's wanted by all men. Men in their 40s and 50s, good-looking, successful men in their 20s. Why are they coming to me for their female enrichment experiences, let's say? I'm not 25. So that alone tells me, my own experience tells me it's a myth. And there are men who ask me out. I don't talk about it really on these videos, but yes, it happens. Not because they're beta bucks. They're great guys. Here, I fell down some rabbit holes myself, okay? I fell down some rabbit holes, but I just want to let you guys know that these rabbit holes are not facts. They're not reality. They're somebody's fucking theory. Some people who are not very positive and who haven't done any research, they're like, oh, well, I like younger women, so all men like younger women, and women over 25 are worthless. As a former escort, I can tell you that if women are after 25 are worthless, that means that no man would pay $500 an hour to be with a woman unless she was 25. And that is just not the case. I know. My reality differs from what they say. They come up with these things like chads. That's a made up freaking thing. And a lot of guys buy into it and built their whole life around this idea that I don't want to be beta bucks, I want to be a chad. It's all a fucking bullshit myth. It's a concept they made up. It's a fucking theory. If you really want to know how relationships work, talk to real couples. That's easy. But what wasn't easy to see, I've been trying to understand for years why men aren't going to college anymore. And why men are telling me that asking a woman out is assault. It's like assault. They've been told it's an assault. They believe it's an assault. And I thought it came from the recent Me Too movement. But that kind of messaging is very insidious. And it's permeated our culture. It's permeated our social media, the Hollywood movies, and most importantly, our education system. And a lot of teachers are quitting. I have a friend who told me that at her company, they just hired two teachers. Two teachers who just quit their jobs and just start working at her company. There is a shortage of 300,000 teachers right now. There is stuff happening in our education system that is not friendly to teachers even, but especially not friendly to boys, especially when a boy doesn't want to sit still in a chair for 6 hours. They give him medication to make him obedient. You know, he has a problem because he can't sit still for 6 hours. Well, how about you let a boy play and run around? That's what they want to do. They want a roughhouse. Now, I will tell you, I was talking with one of my female friends today, and I was telling her how I wanted to play pickleball, but, you know, you have to keep score, and like the score is complicated, and I don't want to keep score. I just want to hit the ball back and forth. And we were talking about how men really like to be competitive and how they like to keep score and they like to compete. And both of my male pickleball instructors, I mean, I've just taken a couple lessons, but they love the scoring. They love, you know, the competition of it and playing hard and hitting the ball at the person. And I'm like, why do you have to hit the ball at me? I don't want you to hit me. I just want to play it back and forth. Like, that's actually how I feel. I have masculine energy, and I'm very much in tune with my feminine energy. And I like to cooperate. I don't want to compete when I'm playing with you. And when my kids were little, I got a few games that were cooperative games. I didn't like to play games with my kids where I won. That gave me no satisfaction. None. So they say that women are more cooperative, men are more competitive, and I feel that. And so in school, you know, the boys want to wrestle, they want to run around, they want to compete. Oh, that's what my friend was telling me. And that's what a lot of parents are doing now. They're homeschooling their kids because they don't want them exposed to the trans ideology. They don't want them exposed to a lot of the stuff going on at school. And apparently this mom who had 8 kids was noticing that her daughters didn't like grades, so she'd stop grading them, and then she didn't give her boys grades, but the boys were like, Mom, we want grades, because boys love competing. And that's why when we tell them that they can't compete, we're hurting them. I don't know if I'm going to keep doing the pickleball because I don't want to compete, and you know, there's certain women who like to go there. I would say they're a little bit more masculine women. I haven't seen any like girly type of women there, and maybe that's why, but I thought pickleball would be a nice co-ed place to meet men. I may have to find a different place. I don't know yet. I do not thrive on competing, and I don't want to try to learn the scoring system. It's very complicated. It gives me no satisfaction. Like I told the instructor, it's like, why do we have to keep score? Why can't we just play? Like we hit the ball back and forth. If you don't get it, then it's my turn again. And then whoever, you know, or maybe we play so that it's your turn so you get a chance, like cooperative. That's what I like to do. And if I compete against myself or try to challenge myself. How much more weights can I lift today than yesterday? But I don't want to compete against you. That gives me no satisfaction. But now if I were a man and I had the testosterone, I would probably love that playfulness, you know, of jostling and wrestling and But that's part of the problem of the school system. They have not allowed boys to be boys. It's mostly led by teachers that are female. So men don't have a male role model. So it's kind of insidious, just female teachers, and a lot of absent fathers, and the messaging that they get messaging that they're not valued, and so that's why they don't want to ask women out. But recently I did have someone who asked me out, and he's very manly. Uh, so I haven't gone out with him yet, but the reason I'm just mentioning that is because he had no shame or embarrassment about asking me out. He just, from the moment he laid his eyes on me, asked me if I would like to go out, if I like to date, if I'm interested in dating. And he had no embarrassment about it at all. As I need to ask him why that was, because I keep coming across men who think that women should pursue them, or women should make the first move, or asking a woman out as harassment. But this man just totally owned it. I know that my ex-husband, he's remarried, he asked his wife out. He pursued her. He never considered it harassment. Maybe these guys are not. Maybe it's because they're a little bit older. Maybe it's impacting more the younger men. That could be a factor. That this messaging is really hitting the younger men more, like under 30. Although I would say my sons don't have that. Maybe it has to do with their mothers not valuing them. So then when they also hear it at school and in social media, it just kind of reinforces what they were already told. I'm kind of interested from you guys to know, like, for those of you who feel like asking a woman out is harassment, I'm wondering if you felt valued as a boy, just for being a boy, if your masculinity and your boyhood was celebrated. Like your mom saying, I'm so glad I have a boy, and nourishing like your physical energy, your boyish energy, the fact that you're a boy, celebrating that you're a boy, that you're a man. I wonder if that was missing, or because you guys can't buy into that bullshit. When you start thinking that asking a woman out is harassment, you have been radicalized to think that you're bad. You've been shamed. You have been impacted by the feminists shaming you. You cannot let that stand. That is an ideology. You are valuable as a man. We need men. Women need men. We want your testosterone to be used in the pursuit of your work, your hobbies, and us. We're not supposed to chase you. You're the competitive one. You're the one who wants to play racquetball hard and keep score. I want to just cooperate. I want to just be like, thank you for asking me out. Yes. Thank you for asking me out. No. You have testosterone and you've been shamed out of it. You cannot let that. I just made an earlier video where there were several clips about men. I hope that you will listen to that and tune into that and be like, I lost my way and I'm finding it back to myself, to my manhood. I also felt some shame around my feminine energy. I was taught that being feminine was weak. That's when I was growing up. Being a man was good, being feminine was weak. And I had to find my femininity. And that was like a great act of self-love, you guys. Because I was taught it was weak, and women are weak, and men have the power, and, you got to be strong. And that's all bullshit. Because it's my softness that makes me human also, and it makes men more interested in me. It's just being a whole person, like masculine and feminine. That's all I have to say on this video. Thank you for watching.